This is part 3 of our overview of the random encounter hotspots in Fallout 4. So in order to keep the game fresh and unique every time you play it, Bethesda has a bunch of invisible hotspots around the world of Fallout 4 where you can find randomly generated encounters. These encounters are pulled from a large pool of encounters, and there are different lists of encounters that get pulled depending on the hotspot that you go to and the level that your character is. I've already shown you dozens of them. In this video, we're going to go through a dozen or so more. Today, we're going to go to the outskirts of Salem. This is a really interesting spot because here we find 3 hotspots really close together. All 3 are really close to the Museum of Witchcraft. The first, most southern hotspot is southwest of the museum right next to the road. Here it is on the map. We'll call this Site A. The kind of encounters that you tend to find here are non-mobile encounters, a lot of battles and objects. The next hotspot is really close to this. There's a little shack with a blue cloth roof just north of this hotspot. Here, we find sleeping bags and a cooking stove on the ground, and this hotspot tends to get encounters with a lot of roving traders and people that you can talk to, although you also find battles here. We'll call this Site B. Now, as you can see, both of these hotspots are really close together, and the problem with this is that sometimes you can generate 2 different random encounters that are hostile towards each other. In this example, Site B generated a whole bunch of ghouls, and Site A generated Mac, the barkeep who sets up his pub in the middle of the wasteland. In this example, the ghouls attacked and killed Mac before I could even get to him. The third one is up the road from the Museum of Freedom. As you run up the road from the museum, take a left off of the road and around this broken house, and head towards the boathouse against the shore. The third hotspot is inside this boathouse. We'll call this Site C. This one gets a wide range of different encounters, from stationary ones like dead bodies and placed objects, to travelers who will then wander out of this boathouse and then down the road in front of the Museum of Witchcraft. We're going to explore the random encounters from all 3 sites, but first we're going to start with Site A. The first is a pre-war tank guarded by a bunch of gunners. This is really interesting in light of our series on the gunners that we're well on our way through right now. You can't interact with the tank, you can't go inside of it, it doesn't do anything, but it tells us a little bit more about the gunner faction. Here they are trying to salvage a tank, of all things. Like the Brotherhood of Steel, the gunners are really interested in pre-war technology. Another one is a stationary sentry bot. Now, you could attack this if you really wanted to, but I believe the main purpose of this is so that you can hack it and turn it into a temporary companion. The sentry bot will follow you for quite some distance. This guy fought with me during many other random encounters. And then there are a bunch of enemy encounters, including a good old Deathclaw, and a rad stag hanging around some irradiated barrels.
Let's get this over with.
Be careful when getting close to the barrels, as they do give off quite a lot of radiation. Now let's go on over to Site B. You can find ghouls feasting on the corpses of scavengers. Site B always comes with a bed, a cooking stove, a yellow crate at the foot of the bed, and a duffel bag. In situations like this where the previous occupants are now dead, the contents are not set to owned, which means you can take them without stealing. You can stumble upon a wandering trader named Dreth.
Well, now who's this? You here to trade, boy?
Who are you? What are you doing out here?
Name's Dreth. That's all you need to know. Now, you here for business? I ain't got all night.
Depends on what you're selling.
Arms, ammo. Guy like you's bound to find something. Come on.
Mind a few questions?
Talk is cheap. Everything else has its price. Now, you buying or not?
Sure. Let's take a look.
Take a look.
She has a modest inventory, but the really interesting thing about this encounter is she is guarded by non-hostile gunner mercenaries. Now, we know that the gunners are a mercenary faction, but the jobs they tend to do are usually larger, being hired to go into hallucinogen, for example, by some large unnamed company. But here we find out that gunners will sometimes sell their services to wandering traders. Now, we know from a video on the Hub City auto wreckers that gunners will sometimes fire on wandering traders if they get get too close. I guess we can learn from this that gunners are extremely territorial, and if you as a trader hire another mercenary for protection that isn't part of the gunners, they become hostile towards you. Incidentally, Dreth is a fan of the Minutemen.
Hey, you must be with the Minutemen. Wow, I really appreciate everything you guys do.
Thanks for saying that.
Keep up the good work. Here, I want you to have this. I hope you can find a use for it.
We can find a small squadron of super mutants. And we can stumble upon a man named Ron Staples who likes to talk to himself.
Keep thinking it's about time to pack it in. And then I think, why? You know, we've been friends for over 10 years. Where does the time go? Yeah, I'm glad you could make it out here today. We'll have to do this again soon. This is the life, huh? We'll have to do this again soon. I'm gonna remember this moment for the rest of my life. This exact moment. We'll have to do this again soon. You're in the groove now, no doubt about it. Howdy, friend. Grab a seat by the fire. Everyone's welcome.
Hi.
How's it going, friend? You're welcome to join us. Pull up a patch of dirt, stump, old tire, whatever suits you. Take a load off and stay a while. The good fellowship's on the house. The drinks are how I keep body and soul together. Can I get you something to drink?
What is this? A traveling bar?
I have a lot of friends. I make new friends wherever I go. My friends like to join me for a drink. What can I say? It's a living. So far, wandering life suits me. I see the world, and my friends always know I'll be coming to visit soon. So, can I get you anything?
Sure. Let me see what you got.
My selection is a bit limited right now, but take a look.
Now, if you have high enough charisma, and if you have worked on your settlements, I believe you need a settlement that has over 80 or 85 happiness with a large population, then Ron Staples becomes available as a settler whom you can send to one of your settlements. You can then assign him to a bar, and he becomes a Tier 4 vendor. Here he is in my sanctuary. He doesn't have any extra dialogue than what we've already explored, but his inventory is much better. Previously, he only had 100 or so caps. Now he's got over 560, and he has a much larger selection of food and drinks. Pretty cool. And now let's move on to Site C. This is the site inside the boathouse. Here we can find the infamous Art versus Art random encounter.
Please help. I don't want to die. Shut your mouth, or I swear I'll shut it for you. Please, you gotta help me. This guy's a synth, and he's gonna kill me and replace me and my family. Oh, God. My kids. Don't you dare bring them up. He's the synth, and he wants to replace me. Please. Please, you gotta believe me. You can't let that thing do this.
Let's all just calm down. No one has to die.
No, he wants me dead. He's never gonna stop. I have to kill him. Don't listen to him. It'll say anything to convince you.
Why don't you just tell me how this happened?
How this, fine. I was on my way to Bunker Hill. I round a bend, and I see this guy, me, gun drawn, ready to fire. After that, it's a blur. We scuffled for a while, but I won. Now, I don't know what else I can say to convince you he's the synth. Now, are you gonna get out of my way?
Now, if you have high enough charisma, you can learn the answer to this secret from the Art kneeling on the ground.
Hey, I'm on your side. I just need you to tell me the truth. Then maybe I can help.
You're with the Institute? Hey, look, this guy knows I'm a synth. So just help me take care of him, all right? Otherwise, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble.
If you try to stay out of it, the true Art kills him.
This is none of my business.
No, you can't. He's gonna kill me.
It's done.
Or after learning that this guy is really a synth, you can tell the original Art to execute him.
Just kill this thing and be done with it.
What? No!
It's done. I need to get out of here.
Or you can become hostile and attack the original Art.
You won't be doing anything if I take you down first.
Oh, thank God.
Damn it, I'll kill you both! You're dead.
If you choose this option without learning that the one on the ground was the synth, even after the original Art is dead, this new Art continues to pretend that he is the real one.
Thank God you showed up when you did. I think that thing was really gonna do it. You saved my life. I can't thank you enough. My kids don't have to grow up orphans thanks to you.
That last line is so creepy. This synth is talking about the children of the man he just killed, saying that they don't have to grow up as orphans. Alternatively, you can pass a yellow speech check to tell the original art to put the gun away.
Look, all I need is for you to put down the gun. Then we can talk this through.
All right. I'm putting the gun away. Oh, thank God. Now, how about you and I clean up this mess?
If that's what you want.
However, if you do, the fake art misunderstands your attempt at peacemaking and immediately starts attacking the real art. If you kill the original, the fake one thanks you and talks about his mission for the Institute.
Yeah. Thanks. Now I've got a mission to take care of. You saved me from a whole heap of trouble when I got back to HQ. Maybe don't go mentioning this to anyone next time you're in the Institute. I got a reputation to maintain.
Or once he starts attacking, realize you've made a horrible mistake, you can side with the original art and kill the synth copy.
I'm gonna be sick. Thank you. Again. God, I'm still shaking. Why the hell would the Institute want to replace me? Christ, that thing was wearing my face. The Institute. They're monsters.
The interesting thing about this encounter is that it confirms all of our suspicions about the Institute replacing people with synth copies. We already know that most of the synths wandering the wasteland are escaped synths. These are synths who do not affiliate with the Institute and have worked with the railroad to get free. These synths know that they are synths, but they just want normal lives and they don't attempt to steal another person's identity. And at the same time, however, the Institute sends out their synth doppelgangers to assassinate the original person and then take over his life. In the case of Roger Warwick, they brought him back to the Institute and interrogated him before executing him. But in the case of the original Mayor McDonough, this is probably what happened. The synth confronted him, killed him, and then took over his life. We can find a number of enemy encounters. We find a pack of albino mongrels, a family of radstags, and a nest of mole rats. However, this last one is really interesting. These mole rats were hovering around the body of a man named Hadrian. We find his corpse inside a life preserver of all things, lying inside the boathouse. On his body are two miscellaneous items. One is the Jamaica Plains flyer. We find this flyer all over the Commonwealth. It adds Jamaica Plain as an icon to our map. It just talks about the pre-war Treasures of Jamaica Plain exhibit. But the second one is called Hadrian's Invitation, and it's a holotape.
Hadrian, Carl, got a job you might be interested in. You know about Jamaica Plain, right? Place where they hid all that treasure before the war. No one's ever found it, account of all the ghouls. Sal's putting together a raid team. We still need a sniper, even split of the loot. You up for it? If so, you know where to find me.
Now this is the beginning to a very interesting encounter in Jamaica Plain. I have not yet done a video on this entire thing yet. I hinted at it at the beginning of my efficiency settlement build for my Jamaica Plain settlement, which I published a long time ago. You can watch that here if you're interested. But never fear, ladies and gentlemen, someday soon I will sit down and do an entire video on everything involved with Jamaica Plain. But let's remember Hadrian, because he plays a central role in that story. Now sometimes you can come upon a settler who runs up to you asking for help.
Help! Raiders jumped us! You gotta help!
If you head towards the random encounter hotspot, you can find a couple of other settlers under attack by some random enemy. In this case, it was raiders. Once you kill the raiders, you can then talk to the settlers who offer to join your settlement.
Didn't expect help from a stranger. Thanks.
You looking for a new place to settle?
Could be. Why? Do you know of somewhere good?
What are you looking for?
I just want to find someplace safe to live, without these assholes trying to kill me all the time. Why? Do you know of a good place?
I sure do.
You can then select the settlement that you want them to go to.
Thanks. See you there in a day or two.
And strangely enough, this encounter ignores your charisma cap. At least it did in my game every time I've done it. I was able to send these settlers even to settlements that were completely full. Now the number of settlers you get are the number of settlers that survived this attack from the raiders. If all 3 settlers survived, you get 3 new settlers. If only 1 survived, you only get 1. I was able to farm this random encounter by doing the Rogue Robot quest. This is the Radiant quest that you get after completing the Automatron DLC. That quest tends to send me to locations where this random encounter tends to always happen. It was through using this random encounter that I managed to get every single one of my settlements completely filled with 36 settlers. Next is a roving band of super mutants. This encounter is unique in that the super mutants have a note on their bodies that says Super Mutant Orders. Kill, loot, return. I'd like to learn more about this. Who wrote this note? From where did they come? To where will they return? I've had this random encounter happen all over the Commonwealth, in downtown Boston, and even near the glowing sea, so it's hard to pinpoint which super mutant headquarters sent out this band of super mutants. You can kill a band of bloatflies who were hovering over the corpse of an albino rad stag. You can find the corpse of a settler. On her body is the note. This note will generate a randomized quest that will send you off to a location to retrieve an item. It's different every time. In this case, I'm supposed to go to Trinity Tower to collect a pipe revolver. Since it's randomized, it doesn't make a lot of sense. This note reads like the pipe revolver is supposed to be valuable, but of course a pipe revolver is not valuable. But I've seen this encounter happen with much more valuable things, and even explosives. Reading the note adds a miscellaneous quest to go to Trinity Tower to collect the pipe pistol. You can find a dead Brahmin and a dead scavenger, but as you get close, you get attacked by a ghoul.
This one's all mine. That was all of it.
This ghoul is likely the cause of death for the Brahmin and the scavenger. And finally, you can find a man who calls out for help. He was being attacked by vicious mongrels. Once the mongrels are dead, the farmer thanks you and rewards you.
You saved my life. Please, take this.
250 caps. Not gonna turn my nose up on that. This is a really fun area to explore because knowing where these hotspots are, you can get 3 different encounters each time you visit this area. As you can see, I was able to predict exactly when and where they would spawn, allowing me to explore these random encounters in greater depth. That's it for this video, but never fear, I have a whole bunch more random encounters to show you. I've already found another hotspot and I'm collecting footage, so stay tuned for episode 4 of Random Encounters. If you look forward to that video and you want to make sure that you don't miss it, be sure to subscribe and then hit that little bell notification button to get notified when I publish that video. And did you know that I've got a t-shirt shop now? That's right, I sell a wide range of t-shirts and hoodies and cups, all with a bunch of Oxhorn and Fallout 4 themed images, some of which include quotes from your favorite Fallout 4 factions. So if you're interested in that merchandise, check out a link to my Teespring shop in the description below. And if you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. Patreon subscribers get access to a private channel on my Discord server, as well as a bunch of other cool Oxhorn perks. But more than anything, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just so glad that you're here with me watching this video today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow morning bright and early with a brand new video.